Hey, welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of the 2315 Sports Show. We're on episode 21 today. Again, kind of following the same setup as last week. We're not going live on Fridays. Actually, I'm going to make a mental note if you want to write it down, kind of make a tweet about that or an X, whatever you call it, because I haven't done that. So, kind of no live shows probably the rest of the summer. Maybe a little closer to football season. We'll see how that rolls. But also this episode, we're going to change it up. We're kind of getting away from the pregame segment news. There's just not a lot happening. And usually the news is what we're talking about. So we're just going to kind of cross that out. So we're going to replace it with a segment we're calling Picks, Parlays, and Prayers. This one's going to be kind of Ethan heavy here on today's show. I dropped the ball and didn't end up signing up for the one thing we can do here in Wisconsin. But so this one will be on him, but we'll have that kind of every episode of the show, either at the beginning or end. We haven't decided. This one will be at the end. But so jumping kind of right into what we want to talk about right off the bat. We are officially in the second round of the playoffs, kind of far into it. Good series so far. A lot of good series, good games. If you want to have a rundown of East and West or whatever you want to start with.
Yeah. So we'll just start out West with probably the best series so far, and be the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. I know we kind of hit on that last week, and we said, it could be a T-Wolves sweep. I was all in. I was like, T-Wolves could sweep them here, but the Nuggets, took their licks on the chin and then came back and just give it right back to them and hit 3 games in a row. So tomorrow night, I believe, is game 6, and honestly, I don't give much hope to the T-Wolves. I'm kind of like on the pendulum swing here. So the Nuggets figured it out and what they were doing offensively and how to, be better and move the ball better offensively. And they are just, dominating both ends of the floor right now. So it's been a wild series. And like I said, kind of crazy that we went from a sweep to, could be 4 games in a row for the Nuggets. So,
yep. Yeah, I agree. It starting out, it was all Wolves, and Ant-Man was the next MJ, and we're doing this and we're doing that, and Joker and the Nuggets said, "Hold my beer," pretty much. They are, the way they flipped the switch was insane. I don't know what. I don't know why that took 2 games to do, but again, you're kind of learning. I mean, you've played them all year, but again, playoffs a different intensity.
Yeah.
And also, I think a big catalyst in it all was Aaron Gordon. Like, they figured out he's the mismatch that the Wolves don't have anyone for. I mean, Joker's Joker. He's going to get his. I think last night he dropped 40 and ended up with a double, like crazy double numbers or whatever. But Aaron Gordon, when he's bringing the ball up the floor, they don't have anybody. They don't have anyone with his size, and the people that has the size don't have the speed that Gordon has. So, and he can facilitate really well. So I don't know. I wonder if that was like a hidden thing through the season. Like they knew he had it and just needed to break it out, when they wanted to. So, and it works. It works. Because Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert can't stay with him.
No.
They don't have the lateral quickness.
You throw Jaden Daniels or Jaden McDaniels on him because he's, fast enough and big enough, but he's not really strong enough. And then after that, what are you going to do? Put Cat on Michael Porter Jr. And at that point, there's another mismatch with an elite shooter. So that's it's tough. They're so good, and I don't. I'm on the fatigue with the Nuggets, and I wish somebody would beat them. But
don't know. I mean, it's good. It's another. I mean, you can call them a dynasty now, probably. I mean, I don't know. They've only won one, but they're heading that direction. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's good to see a resurgence for Denver. So I'm not mad at it. Um, I enjoy their coach. I like their coach. He's a tough nose, hard nosed guy, and they play defense. So it's a good game to watch. Good game
yeah,
for. It's a good game for kids to model the game around because there for a while the Warriors game. It was a great and entertaining game to watch, but I'll go on record and kids should not emulate that game because you're not Steph Curry. You're not hitting 40 footers. Like
yeah.
that. It's not.
But every kid now thinks they are, and
Exactly.
they're like out in the driveway or in the gym, be like just
Exactly.
pulling crazy shots, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the Denver game suits well. It's a big guy. He can step out, shoot the three, but he can pass. They pass. They move. So I like it. I like it for the game of basketball. So,
Yeah,
but I'm with you. The pendulum has swung in Denver. It's over. It's over for the Wolves. It was a good run though. I mean, they're
yeah,
right
good
there
job.
too. I mean,
Yep.
the West is hard.
Yeah,
So
and I saw some other day that was like, who says no on a trade for like it was like Carl Anthony Towns for Kevin Durant or something like that, and or maybe Jaden McDaniels was in that trade, and somebody's like the Wolves hang up the phone immediately.
yeah,
So I think they're still a piece away, but they are really good. I think they need one more, elite shooter.
that or an elite point guard, like
Yeah,
a good. I mean, they have good guards, but I don't know. They either need a very elite facilitator that can shoot a little bit, or like you said, or a guy that can just go get another bucket, kind of like Ant. Like he can get it whenever he wants.
yeah,
They need someone like that. So yeah, that's interesting. Interesting stuff.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it'd be tomorrow night. Well, could be the deciding game for that series.
Hmm.
Um, but staying there in the Western Conference, we've got tonight, or well, we're filming on Wednesday. So
Right.
Wednesday night we've got or is that right? Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
should
the
be okay.
Mavericks and the Thunder, and the series is tied at 2 right now. That one
Big,
has
big
been,
game here.
yeah, that one's been a great series so far too. Thunder with 1 and Mavericks get game 2 and 3. So, and going back to OKC for game 5. So
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Mavericks on this. Honestly, at this point, I don't think whoever wins is not making the finals. So,
Mm-mm.
but I'm gonna pick the Mavericks. Their experience again, just in a big time game, they're gonna need somebody to step up, and it's either gonna be Kyrie or Luca, and they're gonna answer the call
Okay.
and will them to that victory.
All right. All right. You've been on the Mavs bandwagon the whole
Yeah.
time, so I'm gonna go against you naturally. Um,
All right.
I think so. Again, another series that OKC kind of came out and smacked them in the mouth a little bit, and then Mav said, "Okay, this is how we play,"
Yeah.
and they figured it out. However, I know experience is big, but I think in this series, I like the young legs of OKC better.
Okay.
I mean, Luca's a baller, but he is banged up. I mean, you can see he's not moving very well. Even though it doesn't look like it to the naked eye. He's hurting, and he said he's hurting. So it keeps on going. I think that'll tear him down a little bit, but I'm going OKC. I like,
Okay.
especially tonight, back at home, kind of in a hostile environment. That's a really cool stadium. It looks like to watch a NBA game in. Looks like a very nice
Yeah.
atmosphere. So, um, I'm going with them. I'm going to ride with them, and I think they get tonight. But I think that series goes 7.
Yeah. I think you're
So,
right. It probably does end up going 7. But just it's one of the better series because you got, like you said, the young
Mhm.
legs of the Thunder, and so seeing them um, just come up and like really come out of nowhere last year. They were,
Mhm.
right there at the 8-9 seed, I think, and 10 seed somewhere in there, and now all the way to the the top, the 1 seed. So I like the uprising. I like the young core that they have. So
Mhm.
they're only going to keep getting better with all the picks that they have too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
And Gordon Hayward, I think he's somebody that is super underrated on that team.
Mhm.
He's the veteran. Like there's times I forget he's on that team,
Same.
and they're like, you're missing that veteran leadership, and then you're like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot Gordon Hayward's on that team. So
Yep.
even though he's not the same player he was, that leadership is big.
Mhm. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So we'll bounce to the opposite side of the bracket there, and we'll go with the Knicks and the Pacers. I went
Pacers.
blank for a second. Yeah. So Knicks and the Pacers, and that one is at 3-2 with the Knicks leading it.
Yeah. I this series in my opinion has been, I know there's been blowouts in it, but I think it's the
Mm.
most interesting of the whole playoffs. Um the Knicks, so I love Thibodeau cuz he was a Bulls coach. However, usually right around this time is when their players start getting hurt. They get fatigued because he plays them too much. He plays it right the way the NBA should be. These guys don't
Yeah.
rest. They're not, they're not sissies. They go out and they play every game that they're healthy. However, that's not the NBA anymore, unfortunately. And you see it this round and then going forward. I saw it with the Bulls. That's exactly what happened. However, these kids, they fight through it and it's like they feed off of it. They feed off of the injuries, they feed off of all the naysayers, and um I like them. I like them a lot. So um and their three guard set there is just, that's a three-headed monster. Um
They're all dogs.
yeah, those Villanova boys, I can't stand a couple of them cuz they beat Carolina, but they're they're really good. So I like the Knicks. And I would honestly, if they win, I give them a shot against the Celtics the way they're playing, because the Celtics are not physical at all. Like they are a finesse team and they're going to get beat up. Tatum's going to get beat up. So, if the Celtics prevail, which I think they will.
Yeah.
But I like the Knicks. I like them. I like the coach. I like the gutsiness and just the overall toughness of them. So,
Yeah. And that's you hit the nail on the head when you said talking about the injuries and then fighting through it and then feeding off of it. And you said those kids, like
yeah.
they're kids. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of veterans on that
Mm-mm.
team, which I mean, you see Josh Hart, he's probably 25, 26, 27, somewhere around there. But DiVincenzo's the same way. Brunson's the same way. Like they are a bunch of young guys out there
Yeah.
who, if they keep the core together, they're a team that can compete for years, and they're only going to get better.
Yep.
That's like it's just how it is. So Friday night, I think they take care of business in Indiana, and they win the series.
Yep.
Um, so I like the way the Knicks play ball. Man, I like the way Tibbs coaches. Like you said,
Mhm.
he's plays it the right way. They're very physical always. He's
Yes.
always got a physical team. So that's that's what worries me about going to the next
Mhm.
series is the physicality. But with our guard play and Derek White and Drew Holiday, we have really physical guards as well who can, you know, maybe not shut them down, but maybe slow them down a little bit. The only bad thing for the Knicks is when we go, well, not really small ball, but Tatum plays his natural 3 position, and 6'8" goes against 6'4" Josh Hart, and it'll be good because should finish the series off tonight. And speaking of that, just Celtics Cavs, we're up 3-1. Halftime of game 5 right now, up 6. So they've had it kind of easy this series with all the injuries. Jared Allen's been hurt. Donovan Mitchell's out tonight. Karis LeVert's out tonight. So you're playing against most of their bench, and only starters Evan Mobley and Darius Garland, which they're not scrubs, but just not something that you're going to be battle tested through and through. So
well, and that's the funny part is, all those guys are out, but this is the game the Celtics lose in pass. Like they play down, and that's what worries me the most about them. But I agree. I think they take care of business tonight. I think they're just too much, and they would have been too much if Cleveland was 100% healthy too. Like the Celtics are the best team in the NBA, right? I mean, they are, but they're just not playing the best of the NBA right now. Unfortunately, the Nuggets are, honestly. And they're hitting that stride at the right time, and I hope for the Celtics they do too. But I don't know. I just don't see they don't have the killer mentality of go out and win. They know they're good, so they'll win when they want to, and it's like I don't like that.
That worries me. To like last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're now 3-0 to the Heat, and they're like, oh, we have to win, and then they force it all the way to Game 7. Like they've got it. It's just if they want to have it that night. But hopefully they get Kristaps back soon.
Yeah, that'd be a catalyst right there.
Get him in some games, against the Knicks, and we win that series. Hopefully, go to the finals. We get him at full health and at game speed. So, that's what we're hoping for. So,
if you get Kristaps by the Knicks series, I call that a 5-game. I mean, or at the latest 6-game series, because he's the difference. He's a big difference, especially in that series. They don't have anyone to guard him on the Knicks. So
getting Drew and Kristaps in the offseason was like
that's huge,
massive overhaul. So that was big.
I agree. So that wraps up the playoffs as of today. So I mean we're counting down. I mean I think the finals are when I come in 2 weeks. I think they start like June 6th. So that'll be good. So with that, a little other NBA news that's been kind of going around. We've had the lottery. When was that? Monday? Monday. And then the combine's been the past 2 days. And I don't know if it's the rest of the week or if it's over with today. I'm not sure. But couple things on the lottery. I mean, Bulls just got out of the top 10. I think they're at like 11. Other than that, nothing really surprised me. I like the Hawks getting the first pick because I think that actually makes the decision easy for them. I say they trade Trae Young. And then in San Antonio again in the top, they got 2 in the top 10, I think.
4 and 8.
8, yeah. So that's going to be huge too. Whether it's getting picks or trading them for, people around Wemby. So it was interesting.
That's what when I first saw the lottery, like I honestly forgot about it that it was Monday night, and then it popped up on my phone that the Hawks won, and I was like, the heck did they win? And then I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
the lottery. So, but yeah, I think you're right. They're going to trade Trae Young. I think they kind of have to. He is he's a great player, good to great player,
Yeah.
and but just on his big contract alone, like you're in full rebuild mode.
Yes.
So him, DeJounte Murray, one of the two will probably get moved, but probably Trae Young. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get moved for the 8th pick to San Antonio.
I was thinking that too.
So, but they'll rebuild with they'll probably draft Alex Starr, the dude that played in the NBL.
Okay.
They'll probably draft him number 1, like 7'1" center guy, but can step out and make a decent shot. So he's got a good mid range, but still has to develop the 3-point. But really, like you said, no other huge surprises. Like the funniest thing I seen was Detroit had the best odds for the number 1 pick 3 years in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got the number 5 pick all 3 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
So what? Just some bad luck missing out on Banchero and then Wemby, and now whoever it may be. But I honestly, really, this year's a down year for the draft. There's no bona fide guarantee superstar.
I agree. This one's one that I'm glad the Bulls weren't bad enough to be a number 1 because
Yeah,
I would have told them to trade it because I don't. I mean, I knew one of the names, and it was the kid from Kentucky, that Dillingham kid that could go number 1, and I'm like, I'll pass. I mean, it might be a bad pass, but it's just not enough for me to, it's not Wemby, it's not Banchero, it's not. It just doesn't have that big superstar name to it as in years past. So, and honestly, with the Spurs, they're good at the draft. So I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I'd almost think they would trade to get players, established players around Wemby now instead of taking a chance. Like, so I mean, if at 4. Reed Shepherd, I guess.
if you could get Reed at 4 and possibly get a trade for Trae Young at 8, it makes you small, but I mean, Trae's a good. He's really grown in his facilitating this year. Averaged like 11 assists a game.
Yeah.
Reed Shepherd, he is a great defender in general. And then on top of that, you have Wemby, who can be back there and just
is a
protect the
freak,
paint. So
an alien.
I don't think the size really matters as much. So it's what I would do. I would get Reed at 4 and then go and trade for Trae at 8 if you can do that.
Yeah, I like that. I'll save my because we're gonna get into the combine a little bit, and his name is getting brought up in it, so I'll go further on that. So with that, the combine is actually going on too, and I think it's in Chicago, right? It's always in Chicago. So the big headline really has been Bronny James. He has gotten medically cleared to be in the NBA, which is huge. So that means he's staying in the draft. He's already come out and said that. His shooting looked very well. We were talking before the show, and I think he shot like 76 and 77% with nobody on him, which that's pretty good. Like I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't even think of doing that, even wide open all the time in the world.
Like, not hitting 3 out of 4 every time.
No, and those were all threes that he was shooting. He shot 76 on that, and then 77 on mid range, and it's like, well, at that rate, you're at least the 6th man of the year award. Yeah, at least. Probably a starter. Because he seems fast enough. He's big enough. He can jump.
He's a good defender.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to need work, obviously, but I mean, that's why you take kids. They're going to need work.
Yeah.
And to me, probably the biggest catalyst of it all is, are you getting his dad with him?
Yep.
Because that changes a whole lot of things for a lot of teams, big time. I was actually watching a video and a guy broke down like where he thought he should go, and actually the second team, which I think he should go, is actually San Antonio.
Yeah.
Pop is a legendary coach. LeBron's going to respect that, and he does respect him.
Yep.
Wemby's there, who is a superstar in the making. He's an alien, so that's a fit. LeBron is a facilitator with his kid. He can play there. They go get Trae Young. Now you're not so small anymore with LeBron and Wemby on the court. So
yeah, he's got a good team. Built
and they have
around
the
him.
cap space to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised there. And maybe you use it'd be high, but that way no one else gets him. You use the 4 pick on Bronny. That way it's a done deal. You trade that 8 for I mean,
if you're guaranteed LeBron, like if he come out and said, I will sign with San Antonio if you draft Bronny, I think you kind of have to at that point. You have to, because there's no guarantee he'll be there at 31 or 32, wherever they pick in the second round. So,
right.
I mean, that's probably the more realistic place he's going to go, somewhere in the early second round. But if I was San Antonio and they're like, all right, we're getting LeBron, like, I'd go ahead and I'd probably, 4, 8, somewhere in there, pick
doesn't
him.
Matter.
And it doesn't matter, because then you could, if you can get Trae Young and then LeBron on top of Wemby, Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, Trae Jones, you got a really good team.
Yeah.
Some dogs out there too, because Trae Jones and Zach Collins, they don't take shit from nobody. So
no, I like it. I like the I like it. I mean, I don't like LeBron, but I mean, as LeBron, if you could manipulate the draft like that for your kid, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, he's a second round pick. Well, now all of a sudden he's a top 5. Like, and technically he's won. If LeBron said, I'm going wherever my kid goes, well, Atlanta's going to take him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, anyone who's going to, and they'll keep Trae Young, like, at that rate. So, I like San Antonio. I mean, the kid looks good for what he showed at USC, but they were saying he's playing out of position at USC. So that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I saw was a lot of execs think Edey is like a late first, I think they said, if not second, I think, which I don't know as I agree with it. I would put him, I mean, all those teams at the top need a big man, just a big man. You can teach him other things, but I'd take him sooner than the late first round, I would think.
And that's what the more I've read about it, they said that he could rise up to be a lottery pick, a late lottery pick, but he's developed a 3-point shot just in that short time since, his season ended at Purdue. It's always been working on, apparently, he said. Okay. So he shot pretty well at the combine, but, for it, and it's all about upside in the draft most of the time. There's no sure things anymore. It's all drafted on upside. So at that point, if you're somebody in the late lottery, I mean, heck, the Bulls.
That's what I said.
You got Vucevic, but, get Edey to learn a little bit under him, let him come off the bench for a little while. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't. More than likely, you're going to be picking in the lottery next year too. So because they're probably going to trade, some of their players, their good ones, but just go with it. Take a chance on him. So
I would
too. I like him, as a prospect for the NBA. So I don't know, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. We kind of hit on Reed Shepherd earlier, but they said his athleticism was through the roof. He led the the vert for guards, like 42.5 inches or something like that.
Wow.
Something out of this world. And he shot really good, in the top 5 of all players in the combine. So
nice.
he measured up well, and he's played okay in his scrimmages, but I think he's probably a lock for a top 10 pick. And,
oh yeah.
And then you hit on Dillingham. You said that, he could be a top 5, and they said he's played well and shot well, but his measurements, like his weight and his height and his hand size and stuff, are all really small. So they're worried about his durability.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it's just in today's game, like, everybody gets hurt.
Yeah.
But it's based on their upside. I would take Dillingham pretty high too, because I think he's an electric scorer and can just get you a bucket whenever.
I think he is. I think he has of the people I saw, I think he's the biggest bust though too.
Yeah.
Of the guys that I know, if I'm the Hawks, I'm taking the big kid out of UConn, that Klingen.
Oh, yeah.
Klingen, whatever.
Yep.
He knows how to play basketball. I mean, UConn was dominant the past 2 years. So I'd take him, honestly. He would be my, like, he's it, number one, give him, But yeah, I mean, it's all a guess. And who knows? The combine really doesn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
It's just more for show.
Yeah. You know about everything you need to know already about basketball players before the combine.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, the only one it really showed really well is Bronny.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see him. He didn't play much. So.
And he's in everybody's spotlight right now.
Yes, which is scary. I mean, that's a scary thing. But
yeah,
he'll be fine. His dad's in the spotlight, so he's a pro. So they know how to know how to do that. So that kind of wraps up basketball. Real quick, we have a event we don't talk a lot about. We both enjoy playing, and that's golf. We have the PGA Championship coming up. Actually, we're shooting on Wednesday, so it starts tomorrow, Thursday, at Valhalla Golf Course in Louisville, Kentucky. So Louisville's had a big couple weeks there.
Yeah.
So this course, I don't know if you've seen Valhalla. It's immaculate looking. I saw a couple like flyovers, which Valhalla is way more for skilled players than me and you. So we wouldn't.
Maybe we can go in a couple weeks.
Yeah, there you go. We don't belong probably anywhere near there. We don't belong in the parking lot probably, but
No.
Good event. It's one of the majors of golf, one of the 4. So it's looking good. I think I would assume Scheffler is the favorite, like every tournament. But I'd wonder who second is. Who's like the second favorite?
It's Rory, actually.
Yes. So again, I'm gonna pick him every week till he wins one, but I'm picking him this week on 2 things. One is he won last weekend at the Wells Fargo Championship. And 2, he came out with a divorce this week. So what makes you want to blow a golf tournament out of the water other than that? Like, he's going to be it. Like, I'm telling you, he's going to win. The last time he won the PGA Championship, he did win the weekend before. And I actually think it was at Valhalla. It was like 6-7 years ago. But I'm going Rory for the win. If I had my app, I would bet on it today. But again, I've dropped the ball on that. So,
well, that's
who
fine.
You liking?
Well, I've got my actual pick in our betting segment. So
Okay.
for
we'll save that.
For just who I like, I'd like to see win, but he's probably not going to. I'd like to see Tiger Woods win. Let him get another championship. I'm a big Tiger guy. I like him. But it'd be cool to see like John Daly win it or something like
Agreed.
that.
The epitome of athleticism.
Yeah, and he's out here and he's probably just slamming beers left and right in Louisville right
And
now.
smoking cigarettes on the course.
Yeah. So he's probably running them carts empty right now from beer.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be cool to see him win because I don't know how long it's been since he's won, anything.
He's winning at life.
Yeah, for real. So I mean, heck, I can get on a golf course and smoke and drink, even though I've never smoked in my life. I might die out there, but
you could do it.
I could do it. It might not be as entertaining, but I can get close.
Oh, it'd be entertaining. He's probably the most relatable golfer on the tour.
Yeah, and everybody likes him. That's the crazy thing. Like, how can you not like John Daly?
So. Yes, exactly. I like it. It'll be a good event. It's a good major. Looks like it's going to be good.
And there's a ton of people that I know that are going to the tournament. Like, there was probably 4 or 5 people on my Facebook page that had tickets for sale and stuff, and it'd have been cool to go to, but I'm not going by myself.
Couple of weeks early. If it was in a couple of weeks, we would have went for an afternoon for sure.
Business expense.
Oh yeah. So getting to that, we are in our new segment. We have the picks, parlays, and prayers, and next week it'll be a little better because I'll actually do something in this. But
that's all right.
Ethan, I know he's got some, and you're on. What are you doing? FanDuel?
Yeah, I'm on FanDuel.
All right. Disclaimer: we are not gambling experts. We do not obviously recommend you should gamble responsibly. All the little fast words that you hear in all the commercials. That's pretty much what. We're not telling you to do it, but this is what we would pick. So let's see, who is your pick? We'll go with the pick first.
So my pick to win is Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
He's plus 400 to win. So I was kind of looking at it and I was like, well, put $10 on it, win $40. He's the favorite. It's the safest pick, I think, of the whole tournament. So when I was looking at it, I was like, Bryce Koepka was 4th best odds, I think, and so I was like, I may go Koepka, but then I was like, safe pick, go Scotty. He's the best golfer out there right now. Just do it.
He is.
So he was my pick.
Okay, all right. And are you wrapping him into a parlay, or is your parlay different?
No, I am wrapping him into a parlay. So I have 3 people for a top 5 finish. Okay. So, and again, they're all 3 of the top 5 favorites to win anyway. But go Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Bryce Koepka, all in the top 5.
Brooks
at
do
what?
Brooks Koepka.
What'd I say?
Bryce. You have Bryce DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka together, which is probably a sin for those 2 guys. Yeah. They hate each other, but
whatever.
Brooks Koepka, I knew what you meant.
Yep. So the three of those were top 5 finish at 12.98 to 1 odds. So I was like, throw another $10 on that, win $129.
We take that. That's a good win.
Yeah, for sure.
So 2 PGA guys and a Live Tour guy.
That's right.
Okay, I like that. And I'm assuming your prayer is Tiger Woods.
It has something to do with Tiger, but it's not to win.
Okay.
So when I'm on FanDuel, but just to reiterate again what you said, I am no expert. Don't ever take my advice unless you just like that guy. He's got it. Unless you just think that, don't follow my advice. My wife, her betting history on FanDuel is better than mine. So
I could see that.
Shout out to my wife. But my prayer is Tiger Woods to hit a hole-in-one.
Wow.
There was a whole Tiger special on FanDuel, and I looked. His odds are 10,000 to 1 to hit a hole-in-one. So I was like,
okay.
I'd go with that. Yeah, take that. I'll throw 100 on that one to win $10,000. So
I'm assuming you didn't.
No, I didn't. Not yet.
$10.
Not yet. I haven't
But
put
still,
anything down yet. Yeah, but
$10
still,
and you know,
to win 1,000, like I'll do
oh,
that. So
you'd probably get that and never do it again. Like,
no, I would
delete
quit
the app.
gambling. So I am not a gambling expert. The
We
only
need
thing that
Corey.
I ever feel confident betting on is football. NBA,
Okay.
college basketball, it's too unpredictable.
Yep.
The NBA, it's like, or the NFL, like 75% of the time, the teams with the better quarterback always win. So, like, I feel more comfortable betting those games.
Okay. That's fair.
So don't take me serious, but if you want to, there it is. We're going Scotty for the pick, Scotty, Rory, Kepka, top 5 parlay, and Tiger hole-in-one for the prayer.
I like that. I like that hole-in-one. I kind of like that edition of it because that could happen. I mean, that's realistic. I mean, it's not realistic, but it is realistic. It is a realistic prayer in that regard.
I don't know how many par 3s are on that course, so
I don't know, but
still,
there'll be enough.
Yeah, get a shot at it.
Yeah, you get. Well, I mean, if he makes the cut, that's 4 days at a shot at it. So
that's right.
That's decent odds. So with that, I got nothing. So if you want to hit him with the outro, hit him with the outro.
All right, sounds good. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in, however and wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're receiving, hit that like, follow button, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Apple Pod, Spotify. See you next week. Peace.